Ik wil u namens het bestuur en de organisatie van Christen voor Israël heel hartelijk welkom heten. En een bijzonder welkom to the Ambassador of the State of Israel, Mr. Chaim Divon en his wife Linda Divon. Very warm welkom. Geachte aanwezigen, dames en heren, Israël vrienden. Vandaag wordt de zomertentoonstelling 2016 officieel geopend. Dit jaar met als naam de Grote Terugkeer. De grote terugkeer van het Joodse volk naar het land Israël. Met deze tentoonstelling markeren wij tevens het feit dat 20 jaar geleden officieel het project Breng Joden thuis gestart is. Christen voor Israël heeft met steun van vele duizenden, en ik onderstreep dat, vele duizenden christenen, en met Gods hulp en onder zijn zegen mogen helpen aan deze Aliyah. Het thuiskomen van het Joodse volk. Steeds meer Joden kiezen ervoor om naar Israël te gaan. Ik las dat rond 1890 maakten in 20 jaar tijd 30.000 Joden Aliyah. Dat was een enorm aantal voor die tijd. 1890 hebben we het dan over. En in 2015, in 1 jaar tijd, ook ruim 30.000 Joden terug naar het beloofde land. En dat, dames en heren, hebben zelfs de nazi's en andere tegenstanders van het Joodse volk niet kunnen voorkomen.
Ik denk dat de terugkeer van de Joden in hun thuisland het grootste wonder is dat we in de wereld in de afgelopen eeuwen hebben meegemaakt. Er is geen groter wonder dan het bestaan, het voortbestaan van het Joodse volk en het herleven van de Joodse staat. De hergeboorte van het land Israël. En wat een pijn doet het dan als we zien dat op dit moment zoveel Joden terugkeren om negatieve redenen. Omdat ze hier met geweld te maken hebben, met discriminatie. Dat ze gewoon niet veilig zijn op straat. Dat je, wanneer je naar de synagoge loopt, je kippa af moet doen. Omdat je anders gewoon belasterd wordt, uitgescholden wordt. Ik schaam mij daarvoor, als Nederlandse volksvertegenwoordiger, dat we zo ver gekomen zijn in ons land en in Europa. Dat is toch onvoorstelbaar. En dat terwijl de Shoah nog maar 70 jaar geleden is. Hoe kunnen we dat zo vergeten?
Dat de druk op het Joodse volk toeneemt, met name in Europa, denk ik dat dat hieraan bijdraagt. Frankrijk en de Oekraïne zijn momenteel de landen van waaruit, denk ik, de meeste Joden komen die Aliyah maken. Met name in Frankrijk neemt de druk op het Joodse volk meer en meer toe. Het antisemitisme groeit in Europa. Het is in feite nooit weg geweest. Ook niet in Nederland. En we dienen waakzaam en alert te zijn op deze ontwikkelingen. Wij dienen daarbij op te komen, voor in Nederland zeker, voor onze Joodse medeburgers.
And this is maybe of interest. It's a scroll that was made in 2000. And it actually is a scroll with the names. And it's the 50,000 people from Shim Aleph that we helped with the Aliyah. 50,000. Galina.
Aliyah is not just the ingathering of the exile. It's not just the biblical term Aliyah. Without Aliyah, there's no state of Israel. There wouldn't have been a state of Israel. I am a son of immigrants. And both Ahuva and Yigal, kids of immigrants. Linda also made Aliyah from New York many years ago. And stayed because she met me, of course, yes. And if you just look and think about it, I mean, people coming from Yemen, from Ethiopia, from Russia, from the Netherlands, from South America, how do they work together? How do they become a nation? And each wave of immigrants, when they brought their own traditions and their own customs and their delicious food, they just added to a nation in creation, a nation that is born again with the State of Israel. And your support and your involvement, and you are doing it, sometimes not everyone likes it because they know that by doing it you are strengthening the people of Israel and the State of Israel. But this is the time to thank each and every one of you.
Yemen, the Yemen room is about the other refugee problem. There's a lot of discussion about the Palestinian refugees, but there's almost no talk about the Jewish refugees from all those Arab lands that came mostly to Israel, but also to other places like France. And sadly enough, they have to move now again from France. Finally, they'll make it to Israel, hopefully. B'ezrat Hashem.
We have brought to the exhibition part of items that represents our culture. It's a Torah manuscript. It is jewelry, because the Jewish Yemenites were expert in jewelry. They were silversmiths and goldsmiths, and that's the reason that the Arabs, the Muslims, didn't want them to go to Israel, because they were also blacksmiths. They made all the weapons and the agricultural equipment of the Arabs. What you can see that usually the Yemenite women, they dress black because the Muslims wouldn't let them dress golden or white because they wanted inferior. But only at the wedding they dress like gold, and they have a lot of jewelry and a lot of pearls here. And the flowers, they represent love. And we treat the bride like 7 days, she's like a queen. Everybody would serve her. But don't think that after these 7 days she became a slave. No, she is still the queen of the family Jewish house.
That's how it should be.
It should be.
Proverbs 31.
Yeah, exactly. Yemenite children and everybody could read from all around the book. You know why? Because there's only one book for 10 people. So they're sitting around and they read up and down, down, up, from right to left, left to right, till now. And here is the newcomers from Yemen. This guy, this rabbi, he made an aliyah 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, and he brought with him this Torah. And this Torah, it had been written 800 years ago. And because of this picture, I may say, the Yemenite authorities has arrested 3 people because they let the Jews to bring this Torah to Israel. They claim that they possessed by the government of Yemen, so they were upset. So they arrested the one Muslim officer. They let us to bring it through the airport, and 2 Jewish, they are still in jail because of this Torah and because the picture that our Prime Minister wanted to have a picture
on this blog.
Yeah.
Sure.
And a matter of fact, in the last 2 years, with your help and other good people help, we have brought more than 200 Jewish from Yemen. It was hidden and secretly, nobody knows, and they are now in Israel. There are still more than 70 people in Yemen that they are there, and we hope to bring them to Israel.
Ethiopia is, of course, another story. We decided to tell it in a few chapters. Over there is the chapter of the air bridges, the airlift operations of the 1980s and the 1990s, 1991 actually, to Israel, especially in 1991. A few records actually were broken one of them was the maximum load of people into a jumbo jet. I'm not sure, I found it somewhere, but 1122 people. So for that you need to throw out all the furniture, all the seats, everything. This is, I'm not sure from which airliner they are, but we managed to buy them and put up and cut through airplane. This is a film that still can be ordered. It's a story that we made in 2012. We went to Ethiopia and came with the last group, one of the last groups of the Falash Mura, the people that once were forcibly converted to Christianity. Now then we enter actually a set room, which is the room of France. And the idea behind this, I managed to buy real French army uniforms. You arrive in France and you run into soldiers, and behind the soldiers there's the Jewish life. Unfortunately, this is how Jewish life is in France and Belgium these days. Sarcelles, which is the riots that you see over here, for the first time since 1945, it was shouted in the streets, "Mort aux Juifs," death to the Jews. It was the first time since 1945 and the end of the Nazi regime. This is the sad reality of France, of Europe actually now. Actually it's a circle that we make now in time, since we are back in Europe where the first huge mass immigration of Jews to the Promised Land started in 1882 from Russia and what's now Ukraine. And actually we're back in Europe now. Number one on the list of Jewish people leaving for Israel is France, and number two is Ukraine. So we are actually back to where it started. There's so much written about anti-Semitism, and actually the more is written about, the less we understand of how it is and why it is. So it's indeed one of the most persistent evils that there are actually.
In Israël heb je dan, tenminste ik had in mijn autootje had ik altijd Reshet Gimel aanstaan. Dus de Israëlische radio met Israëlische muziek. Daar hield ik van, hou ik van. En die gaat dan op vrijdagmiddag, die doet een tandje terug. Het wordt rustiger muziek. Je bereidt je met z'n allen eigenlijk voor op de Sabbat. En dan reed ik daar tussen wijngaarden en bossen. Dan zullen je zeggen van nou, is dat nou, moet je daar nou wild over maken? Moet je niet hebben over de westelijke muur in Jeruzalem van de tempel? Of moet je het niet hebben over Tel Aviv, de wolkenkrabbers? Maar die bossen en die wijngaarden, dat was, 70 jaar geleden, misschien ietsje meer, was dat rots, kaal. Het is niet alleen dat het volk terugkeert, maar het is net of het land zegt, welkom thuis.